guys, it's 𝑳𝒊𝒏𝒌𝒔. We are going to be doing a pick a card today. So today's reading is going to be for those of you who are single. If you are in a relationship, this is not meant to resonate. I think I may do one in the future, but for today it's going to be insight into your next union. I do have 3 piles for you guys to choose from today. Pile number 1 is, I'm not sure if it's Jasper, but it is that orangey brown crystal. I'm pretty sure it's Jasper, I'm just not sure which kind. And pile number 2 is Labradorite, and pile number 3 is Amethyst. So if you guys need another second to meditate on the piles, feel free to pause. Other than that, I will have the timestamps down below, and I'll see you guys in your reading. Bye! Hi guys, if you picked pile number 1 with the unknown crystal, I think it's a kind of Jasper. I wanted to say picture Jasper, but I don't think it's that, so we're just gonna move on. Also, before I get started, I do want to mention when I was shuffling for your pile and just tapping into the energy, I did hear the number 5. I'm not sure what that pertains to. It could be 5 months, it could be the 5th, and I did also hear the 5th month, so May could be significant for some of you guys. I'm going to give these a quick shuffle. I already shuffled off camera, but do it a little bit right now. We are doing light energies on the top and shadow energies on the bottom to kind of get a balanced perspective. I do also want to note that shadow energies are not always bad, but they are things that you guys are probably going to have to move through and transmute. Okay, that's why I feel like this just came out, because there's going to be a lot of, I'm hearing a lot of magic within this connection, but I'm also feeling like there's going to be a lot of cycles that you guys are going to be moving through together in order to transmute, but I'm not ready yet, so I'm going to put that back. All right, Spirit. Actually, I'm going to shuffle this way. Okay, Spirit, so for pile number 1, can we please get 4 light energies of their union, of their future union? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles. I'm taking that. We've got the King of Cups. And the Magician came out again. I love it. Okay, so the 9 of Cups, I almost said Pentacles, and the Magician. I think I'm going to grab the shadow energies right now as well, and then just read the whole thing after. Okay, so can we get 3 more shadow energies that they're going to have to move through? Thank you. Okay, perfect. And we do have the 2 of Cups at the bottom. I actually feel like I want to leave that. All right, I'll leave that over there. Okay, so I am hearing it was a long time coming, and I heard that with the Knight of Pentacles. I don't even usually speak like that, so that's very interesting. I feel like this connection could be something that you guys have been waiting for quite some time. It is something that I think it took a while to come to you because you had a lot of work that you were doing on yourself, and same with your person, okay? A lot of work that was necessary in order for you guys to come into this union together and then continue the work together. Also, I feel like if you guys are into spirituality, if you have a spiritual practice and you're into the occult, this person is going to mirror that back to you. They're also going to be sharing in the same interests. I do feel like this person is going to be very in tune with their emotions as well, and very emotionally mature. That's what I'm getting with that King of Cups in the upright position. I feel like it's going to be somebody who is not afraid to express their emotions to you guys, and does so in a way that is going to make you feel seen and understood, maybe unlike any connection you've had before. If you guys were in connections where people were kind of all for themselves and they kind of kept those things to themselves and you were the one putting in all of the work emotionally, mentally, I do feel like this is going to change. And I feel like this goes into that Knight of Pentacles of the message. How do I want to word this? What the heck? I'm having a hard time with my English right now. It goes into the message of the Knight of Pentacles, where you guys both were having to work on each other before you could come into this union. And I feel like you were doing a lot of deconstructing when it came to past partnerships that were not reciprocal. So I do feel like this person was moving through similar things. You guys may not have gone through the exact same things within relationships, but it could be kind of a similar trajectory where they gave and it wasn't received very well, or other people didn't appreciate them. And I feel like you guys are going to be able to relate to one another when it comes to that, okay? Again, I feel like this person is very confident within themselves, within their emotions, and I am hearing the message that they're going to be very sure of you. So if other people in the past made you wait and kind of guess whether or not they wanted to be with you, I do feel like this person is going to make it very clear that you are the one that they want, and it's going to be a wonderful feeling. I also feel like you guys are both going to grow a lot emotionally and spiritually on your own within this union, but also together. That's what I'm getting from that 9 of Pentacles. Oh my god, I keep saying that. 9 of Cups. This person might be very abundant, very secure as well. This doesn't necessarily have to be financially, it can be, but they could have built this foundation within themselves that they are now sure of who they are, what they want to go after in life, okay? I'm getting that with the 9 of Pentacles, but this 9 of Cups is making me feel like you guys are both going to grow a lot and you're going to be transmuting so much. You guys might even have similar things that you're wanting to manifest together, or find that this person has similar things that they want to manifest that kind of mirror what you want to manifest in your life. So I do feel like it's going to be very equal. I do also feel like you guys are going to, through this union together, I feel like you're going to uncover aspects of yourself through the other person, in the sense that they're going to be, as I said, like a direct mirror for you guys, whether it's good or more shadowy aspects. But even those shadowy aspects, I do feel like they have their purpose and they're important for us to face in order to transmute them, right? So just as an example, I am going to quickly touch on this 5 of Pentacles. I do feel like there are going to be a lot of abandonment wounds that are going to come to the surface within this connection, and it's going to be for the purpose of transmuting them. I think you guys have grown to be very independent on your own, and when you come into, I want to say also that this person has as well, and when you come into this union, I do feel like those maybe past patterns are going to come back, and you may want to see this person a lot or do everything together. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like because this person has their own things going on, it's going to challenge those feelings, and it's going to encourage you to keep being there for yourself, and the same for them. So again, with this 2 of Cups, there's going to be a lot of healing taking place within this connection. And I do feel like, again, you guys are going to be a mirror for one another. I do also feel like this person is going to help you bring up aspects of yourself from your subconscious into conscious reality in order to become more whole. And through this union, you guys are going to reach a whole other level of wholeness together that you may not have even thought possible on your own or with other partners in the past. I also feel like this person is really going to help you stand in your power. I also feel like this is a connection that you both have been manifesting for quite some time, because I'm literally looking at how he has the wand pointed upwards and down towards the earth. He's literally pointing at this 2 of Cups. So I feel like it's taking me back to it's been a long time coming, where you guys have really been praying for and manifesting a union where you can feel seen, heard, accepted as you are, and loved unconditionally as you are. And I think that this person is in the exact same boat as you guys. I do feel like this is going to be a very healing and beautiful connection. I feel like you guys are going to have a lot of wonderful memories that you're going to build together. I'm getting emotional as I'm reading this because I do feel like you both have been through a lot and you've had to learn how to ground yourselves and find your centers and really be your own strength throughout your journey. But you're finally going to come into a union where you're going to be able to share in that strength with this person. And I think it's going to be so beautiful. So don't let these shadowy energies scare you, okay? I do feel like this Page of Wands is going to be inner child energies that are going to come up for the both of you. This is kind of going into that abandonment wounds that I was picking up before, okay? I feel like you both have had experiences when you were children where you could have felt abandoned by maybe parents, by friends, by family, just in general. And this caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights, and it did take a lot for you guys to heal that on your own. It took many cycles of death and rebirth to be able to come into the people that you guys are today. And I do feel like that is why you guys are finally coming into this union, because of the work that you've been doing on yourselves, and because you both have come to reach a level of enlightenment where you are ready to take on that journey with another. I feel like this connection is going to illuminate a lot of shadow energies for you guys, okay? But again, don't let that make you feel like it's not worth it or it's not the connection that's meant for you, because usually the connections that are the most right are the ones where you guys are going to trigger each other the most, and that's completely normal. I think the most beautiful part of a connection is being able to move through these kind of challenges together and come out on the other side stronger and more fierce together, right? Because of everything that you've been through. You guys could both kind of share in the same feeling of like maybe thinking that this kind of union was never going to happen for you, and like you might have been on your own for a very long time. And I love this kind of energy, not that part, but I love this kind of reading because situations like this and blessings like this from the divine really happen at the perfect time, and they really do show us that life is so much better than we could ever anticipate. And same with our connections, especially if you feel like this could have never happened for you, or like it might not have ever happened for you. I feel like Spirit is like, oh, just you wait, because this is going to be amazing, and despite the hardships that you're going to have to move through, again, it's going to make you both stronger, and it's all for a purpose. I do feel like you both are very divinely protected, because I am looking at Archangel Michael here, okay? So I feel like, and even with, oh my goodness, I always forget, is this the Chimera? I'm not sure. But this is taking me to a lot of spiritual guidance, and I do feel like you guys are being led to one another by the divine. I do also feel like you guys are going to be able to let your inner child kind of roam free around each other, and you're both going to have a lot of fun. This person could also make you guys see things in a completely different way, and the sun is coming out right now. It was cloudy when I started filming this reading, and I feel like that's significant, okay? I feel like, especially with these clouds here, after going through what you guys went through on your journey and all of the hardships that you guys have had to face alone, pardon me, I do feel like the clouds are going to start dissipating, and that this union is going to be such a bright light within your life that it's going to be the encouragement that you guys need to keep going, especially when things get rough. Yeah, I do feel like, because I'm looking at these two, I feel like you guys have really been praying for somebody that just has emotional capacity to be able to hold your emotions and to understand you on a really profound level. And I think that in this day and age, that can be really hard to come by or to come across. You know what I mean? It can be very, very hard to come across, because a lot of people are lost in the sauce of their lives, and a lot of people are not in relationships for the right reasons, okay? So if you guys were dealing with people like that in the past, I do feel like you made the conscious decision to focus on yourself, work on yourself, and that will be rewarded with a beautiful partner who has, I'm hearing profound depth, I can't say that word, I can never say that word, but whose heart can carry profound depths. We're gonna move on. Someone who's very in tune with their intuition, someone who's going to be able to feel what you're feeling and to pick up on the subtle things that you've always wanted somebody to be able to pick up on. And I feel like this is going to be very nurturing and healing for your inner child, because I do feel like that might have been overlooked for you guys when you were kids. You might have had to deal with things on your own, move through things on your own, and you could have felt alone for a lot of your life. I'm seeing a key going into a lock, so I'm hearing the perfect fit, okay? I feel like this person is going to be a perfect fit within your life, and it's going to be a no-brainer that this is the person that you want to build with. So a lot of healing, and these shadow energies aren't even that bad. I do feel like there are going to be certain anxieties that come up for you, but this person is going to help you move through that, and vice versa, okay? And again, with these abandonment wounds, you do not have to face them alone, and I do feel like you've been facing them with the divine and with your spirit team, but once this person comes in, they're going to have so much compassion for you, for what you're moving through, and it's going to be a really wonderful change from what you've experienced in the past, okay? So I think I want to leave it there for the tarot, because I honestly don't want to say too much with these readings, because I do want a lot of it to be a surprise, because when you're going through this kind of union, everything or every day is a gift, and everything is a treat, even if it's more shadowy, right? Because you know that, again, once you get on the other side of that, you both will have grown so much, and the challenges are always going to be there, right? They're always going to come, but what matters is how you move through them with each other. So really beautiful, okay? I'm going to, which deck do I want to use? I think I want to use this one, and we'll get, and also the Archetypes one. And we will get energy, or I mean archetype cards and oracle cards. We will get energy. What was my English? I keep moving these. Okay, hold on, I'm going to shuffle over here. Okay, Spirit, can we get maybe 2 of these? Oh, okay. Look at this. I love how that just went over there. Like, this is a manifestation coming in, okay? So cardamom, I actually heard this when I was shuffling and getting everything ready. I wasn't sure if it was going to come out or for which pile, but that's so interesting. So yeah, we've got cardamom. So it says direction, emotional stability, and meditation. That's beautiful. So we're going to leave that one out. I'm not going to look at the other ones. I'm hearing something about the mother wound. Okay, you guys could help each other heal the mother wound for one another. Okay, and we've got the rose, which is literally everywhere in the Magician, and it is the card of true love. I love this so much. So we've got romance, glamour, and sweet times. That's really nice. Oh, I'm hearing that some of you guys might think that originally this might too... Okay, I can't talk. I'm hearing that you guys might feel during certain moments that maybe this is too good to be true, or like this person is like doing some kind of glamour on you, but I think it's just because of how wholesome this connection is going to be, okay? And I feel like you guys are going to, again, bring out the best in each other, and sometimes that can feel too good to be true, right? I just want to show you guys, I cut it on agape. So this talks about divine timing, the perfect moment. I don't know if that's going to come out, but I think it's synchronistic that that was the one I cut it on. I'm hearing be patient with each other's unfolding, okay? Oh my gosh, look at this. I'm not taking any reversals, but it says the prayer, okay? So again, this is something that you guys have been praying for, okay? That's what I'm feeling. And I kind of want to see what this one is. The crone. Okay. That's beautiful. We've got 13 here, so that's the death card. I have no idea what number that is. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know what, I think L is, ugh, I don't know. I would look to see what number that is because I don't know right now and I can't check because I'm recording on my phone. But this is taking me to those cycles that you guys are going to be shedding, or does that make sense? That you guys are going to be transmuting together, okay? And we do have this coin at the bottom that is forming the Merkaba, and that is fire and water. So a lot of emotional transmutation is going to take place, and a lot of passion, okay? Again, I feel like you guys are going to have a lot of fun together. You're really going to be able to express your inner children to one another and not feel judged for that. And I do feel like this is something that you both have been praying for and waiting for a very long time. So I'm really excited for you guys. This has been a beautiful reading. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed the message. Okay, wait, before I close out, I do want to say what I'm hearing with this. So with this crone, I do feel like both of you guys, it's tying into that message of both of you being very spiritual and very in tune with your intuition. I also feel like this person with this blue kind of reflecting, or not reflecting, glowing around that coin, that this is going to be a connection where both of you are going to be able to really communicate to one another, and that this person is really going to be able to communicate what they're feeling to you, and you're going to feel very safe communicating what you feel to this person, okay? So that's all I've got for you guys for today. I do hope that you guys enjoyed the reading, and I'm sending you so much love. I hope to see you in the next one, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hi guys, if you picked pile number 2 with the Labradorite heart, welcome to your reading. So we are doing light and shadow aspects today. So I don't know what's going to come up, but just know that I'm going to be covering both of those, okay? And we are going to be pulling oracle cards at the end. I'm just going to use my intuition and pick whichever deck is calling to me. Before we get into your reading, I do want to note that I did hear the zodiac sign Cancer. I saw the 4 of Wands in my mind, and with that I heard stability and a solid foundation, which then took me to the Emperor, okay? So those messages are kind of random, but that's what I saw before, and yeah, we're gonna get into the reading. So I'm gonna give these a quick shuffle. Oh yeah, and I heard 44 as well. I forgot because of the Emperor and the 4 of Wands. I forgot to mention that. So that number may be significant. All right, Spirit, can I please get 4 light energies for pile number 2? Thank you. Okay, so we have 22. And can I please get 4 shadow energies for pile number 2? Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that sideways because I don't know whether or not I want it to go in reverse or not. And we do have the Ace of Swords at the bottom. I'm going to put this and the Emperor right under. Okay, well, I'm leaving that out as well. So I'm gonna leave this deck over here. Okay, so I'm hearing the message that there is something here about dismantling some kind of paradigm, or how do I want to word that? Paradigm's, I guess, the right word for it, but I'm looking specifically at the Fool and the Hierophant, and how maybe there might be like certain ways that you guys are used to doing things, the both of you, and when you guys come into union, I feel like this might challenge certain beliefs that you guys have, even certain spiritual beliefs, okay? And it might kind of feel risky at the beginning, but I do feel like this is, like, if you both decide to take this leap, it's going to benefit you both greatly in the long run, and there's going to be a lot that you're going to learn from one another. I'm also hearing the message that with this Hierophant and the Queen and King of Pentacles, there might be something here about someone's family not, how do I want to put that? Maybe not being 100% on board with this union because it challenges their belief system in some kind of way. So just as an example, this might be somebody whose family is very religious and you're not, or you're more spiritual, or your family's not as religious as this person's, okay? So there might be something here about that causing a bit of a rift and people thinking that this might be too risky of a relationship to go into because in their eyes maybe it doesn't make sense. And with that, I do want to encourage you guys to listen to your heart and your intuition when it comes to what decisions you should be making and the path that you should be going towards, okay? Because we do have this Ace of Swords and this Two of Swords here. So with that, I'm kind of, and we have the Emperor, okay? I'm feeling like this might be a father figure, okay? And there might be one truth that this figure is reflecting, but there's another truth that makes more sense to you. I hope that's making sense. I'm just kind of saying what's coming up right now for me in my intuition. But there's going to be this, it's kind of like a conflict, right? And when that happens, when that tension happens, it's really important that you sit with that and that you really try and find the middle ground. I'm also noticing that this Queen and King of Pentacles are facing away from each other, okay? It seems like they are both focused on their own pentacle, so to speak, or their own energy. This might be this family dynamic that I'm picking up on, okay? And there might be a lot of projection that happens here because of this certain way, or because of the way that this system kind of is, this paradigm within this family dynamic. Whereas here we have the two people facing each other and sharing their cups with one another, and we have balance and healing, okay? So I think this might be something that causes pain and sadness at the beginning, and there might be a lot of challenges that you guys might have to move through together. But I do feel like once you move through these challenges together, I'm hearing that there may be a need for logic and rationality when it comes to this, while also following your intuition. Because how this Knight of Pentacles wanted to go in reverse when it came out, I almost feel like there could be people in the background telling you not to go for this connection, not to approach this person because they don't stand for the same things, the same values that maybe have run in the family for a very long time. This could be very much so like two people with completely different religious backgrounds that kind of clash together. And again, this might bring a lot of sadness. It might bring a lot of pain that you are going to have to overcome and transmute with the other person if that's what you choose. And there are kind of, again, these two ways of thinking here. That's what I'm seeing with that Two of Swords, and really needing to sit with yourself and not go off of maybe the way things have always been done, but really trusting your discernment and your sense of logic and intuition, again, in order to make this decision, in order to overcome these challenges that you guys are going to be faced with. Because at the end of the day, if you meet this person and you really fall for them and really care about them, I think that's the most important thing. And there's so much that can be learned from two people's lived experiences through different upbringings. And a lot of the times, like, even if it's not a clash in religion, a lot of the time, even if it's like a clash in background, some people's parents or some families may not agree with certain things, but you can't really let that control and dictate your future. And again, if this is somebody that you really care about and that you see a future with, I think it's absolutely worth it to dismantle certain paradigms, certain belief systems, and really go for it. Yeah, because I'm picking up on a very free-spirited energy, one that's more so like spiritual, and then this energy, which is like a very strict, dogmatic kind of energy. So certain belief systems, certain ways of seeing the world, certain ways of doing things that have been in a family dynamic for a very long time. So this might be going against that completely, and again, people might have something to say about it. I am picking up on a father figure, and this is very like logos energy with the Emperor and the Ace of Swords. It's very much so like, this is right, this is wrong, this is the way, this is the order. But there might be a need to break out of that order if you do feel within your spirit that it's something that needs to happen. You could have already been feeling this within yourself. Like if you grew up in a certain dynamic where there's a certain kind of belief system or religion that you don't resonate with, I do feel like you've kind of been breaking away from that in your own way. And I think that when you meet this person, it's going to challenge that even more, because they may not believe in these things at all. And again, it might feel like a risk, especially if there's an energy here that is very much so about following their heart, following their spirit, and not following the order of a specific tradition or religion. That can cause a rift in the energy. And especially if people really adhere to that certain belief system, it can cause a lot of challenges. And again, this belief system that these people hold might even kind of get in the way of this connection, in the sense, well, only if you let it, but in the sense that people may not want you to pursue this because of this person and because of what they believe in, or vice versa. Okay, you guys are going to have to put the energy how it resonates, because I'm picking up on just both kind of meshed together right now. So whether you are the person that has this kind of strict belief system in their family and you meet somebody who is the complete opposite of that, or whether it's the other way, where you are this free spirit and then you meet this person who comes from a family where things are very like done a certain way, we believe in a certain thing, and any other belief outside of that is not okay. Again, it's going to create a lot of tension. But at the end of the day, with this Ace of Swords, you need to do what is best for you, and what you feel in your heart is your truth. And I think with this Emperor and the Ace of Swords, aside from that kind of stoic energy that I'm picking up on, I feel like you guys really need to stand in your power when it comes to this. And if you really do feel like this is somebody that's meant to be in your life, you should stand up for that. I truly believe that. I know it can be very easy to... That was terrifying in the background. I don't know what that was. But you really need to stand up for what you believe in and for your truth, no matter how hard it may be. And if it is, or how do I want to word that? Like if you're put in a position where like your family's saying it's either us or this person, that's not right. And I will say that to anybody who's going through something like that. It is just not right for people to say that, because it's not your relationship, it's not your life. And if a certain way of practicing spirituality has rules like that, I do not think that it's okay. And I know it can be very controversial to say that, depending on what religion you come from. But I do not believe that spirituality should be an energy of like domination or of control. I believe that it should be free and you should be able to explore what feels right for you. If something doesn't resonate with you in a belief system, you should be able to challenge that. And if a system has a problem with you challenging that, then it is a cult. And that kind of mentality is never healthy and it will never help you grow. I'm hearing you need to take the lead within your own life. I heard that when I looked at the Emperor and the Ace of Swords, okay? And I can't shake the fact that it's really taking me to some kind of family dynamic here. And I am feeling a disconnection between these cards, whereas here I'm feeling a union, right? Like a very strong connection. So again, if you love somebody, if you fall in love with somebody, please do not let any outside source, force, take you away from that, because I think that it's going to be something that you're going to look back on for a very long time if you do succumb to these orders I'm hearing. And it's something that's going to weigh very heavy on your spirit. Okay, so again, I'm not sure which energy I'm speaking to right now because I am picking up on both, but I think that this is something that you need to take a risk on. I know it's hard and it's a very horrible thing to have to face, especially if it means, like, I'm hearing disowning, like if it means that your family is going to disown you in some kind of way. But again, I'm taken back to the message that that is not okay if that happens. Your family, especially your family, should want the best for you, should want you to find love no matter what form that comes in. And I think that's kind of the more dark side of religion. A lot of these systems are indoctrinating people, and I know that's not something that a lot of people want to hear, but I fully believe that it is an indoctrination. If somebody is telling you that spirit, God, creator, source does not want you to be with a certain person or in a certain dynamic, that's their ego talking. That's not God. God, universal intelligence, source, is in everything, and it represents unconditional love, regardless of how that looks for you. And there may be a lot of grief here, a lot of grief that needs to be faced despite the outcome, because either way I'm kind of seeing this. It's choosing this person or choosing your family, and that either means losing this person or losing members of your family, and that is not good. That doesn't feel good at all in any way, shape, or form, no matter how you look at it. But I'm seeing a card from another deck that I don't have out here, but it says it's not about being right, it's about doing the right thing. And it's about doing the right thing for you and for your future. I really want to encourage you guys to sit with yourselves, sit in meditation, and envision how you want your future to look like. How do you want your life to look like? How do you want your partnership to look like? These things are so important. And if it doesn't align with people in your close circle, in your vicinity, I would really encourage you to challenge that. Otherwise, you are giving your power and your life away to others. And you might wake up one day and say, what the flip? I was not really anticipating this reading taking this turn, but that's the strongest message that I am getting from it. There might be an energy here, force, again, whether it comes from your family, your own dogmatic views, that tells you that you shouldn't pursue this connection. And in that case, I really encourage you guys to silence the mind and tune into your heart. Your future love does not have to look like that of your parents. You do not need to follow a certain way for it to be correct. You do not have to abide by a certain set of rules to live your best life. You need to abide by your truth, your virtues, and your morals in order for that to happen. And again, despite what anybody else says about that, this card also talks about maybe when we take certain risks, We may be isolated from society, from our community, right? We may face that. And there's an encouragement here to say that it's going to happen and it's okay if it does. Because I think you guys really need to ask yourselves, like, if this is the situation, is this a community or group that I actually even want to be a part of? If I cannot live in my truth and love who I want to love. Okay, these things are so important. And I know it's so hard to think about these things and to reflect on them, especially if you're used to a certain kind of way. But I think it's really important to challenge these beliefs and to really tap into your own higher wisdom. So I do want to get an archetypal energy. I might get 2 of these for your oracle cards and we'll leave it there. Yeah, just really follow your heart, guys. Don't follow anyone or anything outside of you. Okay, the one. I'm hearing this person might be the one. So, and if you feel that way, do not let anything stop you. And don't be afraid to speak your truth to your family, to your community, whatever. We are meant to challenge these things. We are meant to ask questions, to say, hey, this doesn't work for me. Why is this way? And if people say, oh, you're not allowed to ask questions or challenge a certain kind of belief, that's a red flag. Okay? So the one, this card also talks about the universe, right? Universal intelligence. God, creator, spirit, source. However you resonate with that energy, this is a call to listen to that one voice within your spirit, because we all have God within us, right? God is inside of your heart. God is inside of your heart, not outside of you. You don't have to go to anybody for them to help you communicate with spirit. You just need to sit in stillness and you will hear the voice of spirit. But I think this is really just reiterating to trust yourself and to listen to yourself. Okay, spirit, can we get one more? Oh, that's too many. Just one more. Okay, Thanatos. So that's complete destruction. So something is going to have to end. I'm seeing also from this deck, Apocalypsis, okay? And again, that's taking me to the message that either way, there's going to have to be a breakdown of some sort. And this might be one of the most major challenges that you're going to have to overcome in your life. But to not back down no matter what. You are the weaver of your destiny, of your life, not an external power, not your family, not your community, you. And you are really encouraged here to stand in your power and to let what needs to fall away, fall away. This is chaos, it's destruction. But through that destruction and through that chaos, we find our way. It's taking me to the quote by Carl Jung, in all disorder, I'm going to paraphrase, in all disorder there is a secret order, and in all chaos there is a cosmos. I believe something like that, okay? So everything is guiding you to the truest version of yourself, but you do need to listen to your heart. And if your heart is telling you that this person is the one, or that you need to embark on this experience for your greater good, then heed the call. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you. So I think I'm going to leave it there for you guys for today. I do hope that you guys enjoyed the reading. I know this message was a little bit heavy, but I do feel like it's something that's really important to talk about. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hi friends, if you picked pile number 3 with the Amethyst crystal, then welcome to your reading. Before I get into the tarot cards, I do just want to say that I heard dreams while I was shuffling for your pile, or shuffling to get ready, to get the decks ready for your pile, pardon me. And yeah, I heard dreams. So with that, I got the message that you might have a lot of synchronicities popping up before you're getting ready to meet this person. And for some of you, you might even see this person in your dreams before you meet them. So take that how it resonates. It's going to depend on each person's gifts. But I think it's interesting because with that crystal, I'm also being taken to Pisces, okay? And those are that's a very intuitive energy. It's also taking me to that High Priestess card. So yeah, very intuitive. I think you guys might get some messages about this person, about this connection in your dreamscape. So pay attention to that and pay attention to your intuition, okay? So just to note, the top row is going to be light energies and the bottom is going to be shadow energies. So just a heads up, I am going to be covering both of those today, and we are going to be picking oracle cards at the end. I'm just going to use my intuition for that. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle these a bit more and we will get into it. I feel like this card is significant. Okay. Can we please get 3 more? Thank you. That's interesting that that's in the light energy. I don't know what that is. Okay, we have the Devil. Light energies, guys, are you sure about this? Because I feel like these should be in the dark. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So I am getting the message that these are, of course, they're shadow energies, but I do feel like there's going to be a lot of transmuting when it comes to these, and you will be transmuting it in a way that it will bring light to your connection, okay? All right, so can we get shadow energies now? The Sun. Guys, these are so, like, opposite. What's going on, Spirit? I can't help but to laugh. Okay. So we have the 8 of Swords. And 2 more, please. King of Pentacles. And the World. Okay, and at the bottom we do have the 4 of Pentacles, so I think I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune card, I am getting the message that there is going to be a profound shift within this connection, or when you come across this person. I think you both might trigger each other a lot, and a lot of shadow energies are going to come up in order for you guys to transmute them. This 5 of Swords does speak on mind games, manipulation, also victim mentality, okay? And this isn't to, I want to say this isn't to trigger anyone, but I do feel like this connection is going to bring up a lot of triggers. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm just going to say what I feel. If you guys feel like you might not be ready to hear this message, then it's not too late to exit. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with what I'm picking up on. So you guys might have more shadowy energies of either of these polarities, okay? Because when this card comes up, it does ask us to confront these energies within ourselves, whether we identify with the people who are in the background or with the figure who is standing at the front who has stolen the swords, okay? And it can be a very hard pill to swallow, but it is important in order to transmute, because we need to face these things, right? And if we keep suppressing them, it's going to stay locked in shadow, and we're never going to be able to transmute them. So this person might have more manipulative tendencies, or maybe even tendencies of like victim mentality, okay? And that's not to say that this person is like a narcissist or a manipulator or any of that. We all can have these tendencies. We all go through moments where we become cold or where we become victims of our circumstances, of our lives, or where we believe that we are, okay? This is a very human thing, and it is completely normal to move through these kinds of energies, but I do feel like it's going to be a mirror for that, and you are going to be able to maybe pinpoint these tendencies, again, whichever one you resonate with. Maybe you don't feel like you resonate with any of them at all because it might be so down in shadow, but I think that this is going to be a mirror for you guys to be able to bring these things up out of the subconscious, out of your shadow, and to create more order and structure within yourself and within the connection, and therefore within your life. Okay, these energies are never easy to confront. They're never easy to confront. I'm picking up on the message that if you guys had maybe parents who had these kinds of tendencies, you might do them completely unconsciously, like without realizing it, okay? Or this person might do it completely unconsciously, but most of the time our relationships are mirrors for things that we have yet to uncover within ourselves, whether that's light or dark. And a lot of the time, if we want to be in that high vibration, in that light, we need to face these darker aspects of ourselves. The only way out is through, right? And unless we're ready to confront these things, we will not be able to move forward and to continue down our journey. So I feel like this might be very, like, this illumination of things, is that how I want to word that? I don't know, you guys know what I mean. I feel like these things getting illuminated, and it's interesting because I was picking up on dreams before, and we do have the moon that comes before this. So very subconscious patterns that may not be in your awareness, okay? So I think that when these things do come up, it's going to be very uncomfortable. I don't want to sugarcoat it. Like, it's going to be, and all of this smoke is coming towards me right now because I'm nervous relaying this message, but gotta do what you gotta do. These things are not comfortable to move through. And just to give you guys some context, and so maybe you don't feel so alone, when I first met my partner, we really reflected back to one another our own shadow, and it was super uncomfortable to move through and to admit certain things about myself, because I can't speak for him or for anybody else, but for me personally, it was awful to admit these things, or that I was doing certain things that might not have been so nice, or subtle manipulative tendencies that I had. I did not even realize that I was doing them, and I had to face it. But once I faced those things, I was able to create more order within myself and to actually transmute those shadow energies, because our shadow is not like, it's not love and light, right? It's those dark aspects of ourselves that we refuse to acknowledge, because when we do, like, our ego refuses to believe that that's who we are and that that's the way that we've been acting. So we keep them inside. But look at that. We have the Six of Swords right underneath. That's moving forward. And it's after we recognize what we've been perpetuating, we are able to make moves, right? And you're able to transition into a different way of thinking, a different way of being, and a different way of feeling. It's very important, and these things aren't possible, again, unless we confront these darker energies within ourselves. It might make you feel very trapped at the beginning, and it might make you go through loops in your head, and that's not an easy thing to go through by any means, right? But I do feel like as long as you continue to trust your intuition and trust that you are pure of spirit, you will be able to overcome these things, and you guys will both be able to ground these lessons into reality and transmute them in order to reach wholeness, within your connection as well as within yourselves, right? We cannot come into this place within ourselves if we are constantly rejecting our shadow and saying, no, I'm not doing that. No, there's no way that this is me, right? Because we all are capable of doing some dark things. And as long as we can acknowledge that and accept that, we will be able to come into a state of wholeness and completion. So I feel like it is going to be very uncomfortable. It's a cycle that's going to bring in a lot of change within your spirit and within just the way that you are within connections as well. And I feel like it's really important to let these things happen and, again, to face the shadow head on. If it is too difficult to do that on your own, I would really encourage you guys to talk to somebody that you can trust, whether this is a close family member, friend, even a mental health professional. I really encourage that, because depending on the kind of shadowy material that's coming up, some of it is very, very difficult to move through on your own. And it is always better to have that safe space to do it in, right? And especially if it's with somebody who's studied these things, I think that's what this Hierophant may be pointing towards as well in this reading, really seeking out that mentorship and that help, maybe from others who have, again, worked with the shadow, or people who have been through similar things, right? Finding that community that you can confide in. I think it's really interesting that we have the Devil and the Hierophant right beside each other as well, because the Devil is obviously mocking the Hierophant. So I feel like this is going to be a battle between your higher self and your shadow. And that is a tension that's going to need to take place in order for you guys to truly grow. It's really important to surrender the ego to the knowledge of spirit, to the higher self, and really allow yourself to receive those messages coming in. And if you know that something that you're doing or that the other person is doing isn't right, it's important to be able to talk about that, not to keep it in. Really bringing those things up from the subconscious into illumination so that you can see it for what it is and purify it. I'm thinking of the alchemical stages right now, so nigredo, albedo, citrinitas, and rubedo. And the first step is facing the darkness and calling it for what it is, right? If it is a manipulative tendency, it's calling it out for what it is. If it's going into kind of a victim mentality, it's also needing to address that. Either way you look at it, right? Like, those energies they don't feel good. They don't feel good. And I think it's okay to accept that and to not try and make love and light out of everything that is obviously not, because there is darkness. There's a lot of darkness within us. There's a lot of darkness within the world. And it is important to come into connections where we have that mirrored back to each other. Because after we transmute that darkness, what will be mirrored back to us and what we will be reflecting out is that beauty, is that purity, and that positivity that will be the remnants of that transmutation. I think you guys might also have a lot of dreams coming up about, like, if you were in karmic relationships beforehand, there might be a lot of dreams that are going to come up to kind of mirror what you guys have been through in order for you guys to work through them on a subconscious level. I would keep a dream journal if you guys don't do that already. It's really beneficial to be able to look back at the symbolism and kind of decipher what it means. And I am getting a message with this Hierophant that it is really going to challenge the kind of paradigm that you have in place within yourself currently, okay? And again, that's really important. So don't run from that. Try your best to face it head on, and that doesn't mean to do it overnight, but try your best to take it step by step and to really face your demons. I think this is going to illuminate a lot of the areas in which you have been keeping yourself stuck and playing small as well. And you are going to be able to really ground these lessons into your present moment, into your reality, and build a foundation that's more stable for yourself and for your connection in the long run. I also feel like you guys are going to be completing a lot of cycles together. I think it's interesting because we do start with the Wheel of Fortune, and then going through the journey, we ended off with the World. So there is going to be a completion here. There might be many completions here. And it's really important to surrender to the wisdom that's going to come through from your spirit, from your guides, your ancestors, and really push yourself to grow and to continue forth on this journey, if you so choose, right? It has to be a commitment off of both ends in order to do that, but I do feel like it will be, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of karma that's going to be kind of transmuted through this connection. And even if this is not the person you are going to end up with, I do feel like you're going to grow a lot within this connection, okay? And again, that's not to say it's not going to be the person that you end up with, but we never know where life takes us, right? So in the case where it's not, I do feel like you're going to have a lot of valuable lessons that have been learned. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, about your shadow, and that's going to help you in the long run when you're doing even more shadow work and in other connections, not necessarily even romantic, but platonic and familial as well, because I think romantic relationships really help us heal, and then we can see certain patterns in other connections too that may not be so healthy, that we then transmute, okay? And I am seeing 3 circles here, okay? So, and now I'm seeing the Ouroboros off of the Magician. A lot of death and rebirth and lessons that are very cyclical and non-linear. So if there is something that maybe you thought you've healed, you might be confronted with that again in this connection in order to further mend those wounds. Taurus is very significant here. Okay, so this person could be a Taurus, doesn't have to be. They could be a fixed placement. Okay, I'm hearing that. We've also got Capricorn, and I'm picking up on Leo with the Sun. Okay. So I do want to get some oracle cards. I think I'm going to leave it there for the tarot, unless something else comes up while I'm shuffling these. But I also feel like with this 4 of Pentacles, there might be wounds that come up in terms of self-worth, okay? And this is going to come up in order for you guys to really learn to love yourselves and to trace those wounds back and see where they came from. Most of the time it is our childhood, okay? So I think, yeah, this is going to reflect a lot of, or you guys are going to be faced with a lot of wounds that you have been carrying with you since childhood, and that is for a purpose as well, because those need to be transmuted in order to attain that wholeness and complete cycles. A lot of the times the complexes and the programs that we have, that we've been carrying with us since childhood are not our own, and that we may think is who we truly are, but they are not a good representation of who we are on a soul level, and that's why we need to face them and transmute them. So if you do find yourself, like if in this connection you're going to be faced with confronting, that's so funny because we have the sword at the bottom, cutting through illusion, right? If you are going to be faced with dealing with this energy, just know that it's not who you are on a soul level, and that it is possible to transmute those things and to bring them into light. All right, Spirit, so can we get a message for... Okay, so we have the vow. So I'm getting the message with this that you guys have a soul contract. Oh, what is this one? That you guys have a soul contract. I saw this earlier with this person. Okay, and I am noticing that dove. So a lot of transmutation we have. I think there might be 13 here. Wait. 9. So on the cusp of completing a cycle, all right, which is really important. And even after the 8 of Swords, of course, we have the 9, and then we come up to the 10. So I think this is going to be, again, completing a lot of cycles mentally, emotionally, and spiritually with this person. And it very may well be the person that you are meant to be with, okay? But I do think that with this vow, the message that I'm getting the strongest is that this is somebody that you wrote this contract out with before you incarnated here on earth in order to kind of go through karma, ancestral karma, and really figure that out. Okay, so we have the riddle. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of deconstructing. That's what I'm getting with this. And we are seeing a snake here, so it's taking me back to that Ouroboros, even though it's not in the circle. I feel like there's going to be a lot of challenges and a lot of things that, again, shadow energies that you guys are going to have to face in order to bring out your true selves, but that every single lesson and every single moment is going to be completely worth it, okay? So don't give up just because things get hard. I think it is the most rewarding when we push through these things and come out the other side more purified and more whole, right? And we do have the Castle. So I'm hearing the message that this relationship is going to really push you outside of your comfort zone, okay? And this certain way, like I'm getting this with the square, like this order, okay? This certain way that you've been doing things is going to be very challenged within this connection. And again, it's for the better, right? It's always for the better. And for each person's growth in the long run. If you guys have been isolating yourselves because you've been through relationships that have really hurt in the past, I do feel like this might be kind of like a shock to your system in a sense, because again, it's going to push you outside of your limits and it's really going to test you. But I do feel like these tests are divinely guided. Everything is at the end of the day, but I do feel that way for this, and I think you guys are going to be able to really connect to your heart space and your personal power through the transmutation of these things, okay? So can we just get one? Thank you. Yeah, we've got turmeric with banishment, vitality, and golden opportunities. So that's beautiful. I think this banishment, I'm hearing generational curses, okay? So, and ancestral karma is coming back to the forefront right now. A lot of transmuting and banishing of negative energies, shadow energies that no longer serve you. And though it might take you a little bit of time to move through these energies to figure them out, you will be able to do it, okay? I'm noticing too how we see kind of a synchronicity with how she's wrapped up in here and how this snake is wrapped within itself, okay? So make sure you guys are really connecting to your guides, to this person, and really do it from a authentic place, okay? So try not to point fingers at this person, try not to, I wanted to say start fights, but if fights start, what matters is that you're able to move through them together, okay? And again, if it gets too hard, don't be afraid to ask for guidance, because I feel like it is always there, and it is there for both of you, okay? So I am going to leave it there for today. I do hope that you guys enjoyed the reading, that you have a wonderful day. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.